I wanted to sing before because that's part of my front loading joy. I wanted to enjoy a little bit of singing before, so the recording does not include that because lovely copyright issues, which I totally respect, are
Yeah.
not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed. Good morning, everyone. I have a little bit of a frog in my voice today, so we'll spend a little bit of time listening to others because that's easier for me. But I also want to just point out what front loading joy is. For me, it is the way it started with raising my vibrational energy. You can use your whatever favorite word you want to use at the beginning of the day in order for my parts to feel like I had been taking care of them and that I'd been listening to them instead of plowing through my day and doing all the things I'm supposed to do, making sure my to-do list is handled, making sure everybody else is being taken care of. If I did that little bit of something in the morning, at some point in the morning, I felt like they would be calmer, and I've noticed that. So my favorite front loading joy is to sing for maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the morning as loud as I can. That's my vagus nerve activation. The more I learned about it, the more I recognized how calming it can be. And it's impossible for your system to feel like you're being chased by a lion, in other words, in crisis mode, if you're singing at the top of your lungs. It is not possible. Just remember that in relation. Now, again, some of us may not feel comfortable singing at the top of our lungs. I did happen to have a very musical family, and my mother was an opera singer. So I got planted in the space that was ideal for that. However, there are many things that you can do. Humming, dancing, any kind of movement, any kind of sighing even works as far as activating and calming your vagus nerve. There are a number of them. All of the front load joy videos that I've done so far are all up on YouTube and they're all available to you. There's a playlist even set up for them. So there are a number of different ways that I've pulled out. This is a new one that there's a guy called Motivational Doc on YouTube that I've followed for a while now. He uses the physiological aspects of the body, which is the point I'm trying to make. We spend an inordinate amount of time working on our spirituality and on our focus and on our intention and on our improving ourselves emotionally, intellectually, but there's very little that we actually pay attention to that we're doing for our body. In my opinion, if we don't pay attention to it, it doesn't have nearly the same impact. So if you go for a walk or if you go to the corner and grab the mail and come back, or if you are turn on the music when you're batch cooking, all of those things are great. But marinating it and intentionally recognizing it for what it is so that you can feel as deeply as possible in those moments, that's amplifying that for you that day. That's making a huge difference for you that day because there are billions of data coming in all the time. Sometimes I wonder if the stuff that's behind me looks too busy because there's a lot out there, but it's all green as far as I'm concerned and feathery. It, but the point I'm trying to make is that we take in so much data. Look at Maria's screen with all the, that is joyful and it's also a lot, right? But if you were to marinate in that for just a minute, just think about how that would feel. Spending the time to take the time makes a huge difference in the collectiveness of your day. Your time is precious. I was on the Art of Recovery call yesterday and I was talking about the amount of time that an elevator stays open. It's 3 or 4 seconds, but sometimes it feels interminable. And if you can take those 3 or 4 seconds and marinate in something that really feels right, just think about the finiteness of the amount of attention that we have each day. That's what I'm talking about. We can be embroiled in a huge controversy with, or a huge issue with one of our sweet ones, but we can still take a minute to marinate in something that feels delightful. So that's what I want to focus on. That's, for me, what front-loading joy is. Let's take a minute to listen to, I forget what his name is. He looks Dr. Mandel. And let's see what we see on the other side of this. I'd love for your impressions and your ideas and what you think about what he's saying. And I believe we can practice during this time too. So let's do this.
I'm going to share with you something that's going to make all the changes for your health when you wake up in the morning. If you apply just 2 minutes to your own face, your own body, and you do a few of these things I'm going to share with you, this is going to help your skin, your collagen, your elastin, your wrinkles, your focus, your energy. It's going to do so many healthy things for you. Remember, those muscles have been sleeping, and we need to wake them up. And when we wake them up, there are things that we need to do with them. For example, get rid of those toxins. Overnight, you have all these toxins be released within those cells. We need to get them into the lymphatic system, out of the face, back into the body, so it can be excreted. And all those 43 muscles of our face are communicating with our brain. That when we stimulate a certain part of our face, those muscles, it sends sensory impulses to the brain. The brain then sends motor impulses back to that area of our face. What's quite amazing is that when we stimulate our facial area, those nerves makes its way through the brain through afferent sensory messages. And then the brain goes through its neurotransmitters and then starts making dopamine and serotonin and other hormones that communicate with all the bodily tissues, cells, and organs of our body. The facial area has so many different nerves in it. And why aren't we taking advantage of that? Because we could be doing so many miraculous things for our health just by making these changes, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. And it's quite interesting. Have you ever seen a baby wake up in the morning? What's the first thing that they do innately? They grab their eyes and they start rubbing their eyes. They're waking up the muscles, stimulating back to the brain. So the first thing I want you to do when you first get up, it only takes about 15-20 seconds. Cup your hands like this, put it over your eyes, and go little round circles, not pushing on your eyes, but just stimulating the orbits of your eyes. As the heat stimulates those nerves, as that friction stimulates the muscles above, below, and around the eyes, and do that for about 15-20 seconds. And then just pause. And what do you feel? You feel tingling, you feel more hyperemia, more blood circulation. You're helping your eyes, behind the eyes, the retina, those veins, those arteries, those vessels, those nerves are all communicating behind the eye. So you're doing something good. And yes, you are stimulating neurotransmitters in the brain that's going to make changes throughout your entire body. And now let's make our way to our ears. This is how we hear. Hold on. This is where we get our balance, our proprioception. People who have tinnitus, ringing in the ears, vertigo, all stem in our inner ear, or in our external ear, or our eustachian tubes. But it's all connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to stimulate the ear. But hold on. There are auricular points within our ears in different parts that correlate back to the brain. The brain then communicates with the rest of our body. And many of us who have diseases, ill health, problems that are going on within our body can be corrected by just stimulating your ears many times. So what we're going to do right now is I just want you to take your fingers and just pull on your ears. That's all. You're waking up your ears. And after you pull on your ears for about 15 seconds, as you stimulate these points, take your hands, put it over your ears, and go again, either clockwise or counterclockwise, 15, 20 seconds. And you're going to hear, and you stimulate the ears, stimulating the auditory nerves, going back to the brain, helping many of these physiological things within our bodies work better, work healthier, stay within homeostasis. Hold on, there's two more things you definitely want to do in the morning. What happens when you're sitting around and you're falling asleep, or someone wants to wake you up? What do? Come on, get up, get up. Aha. That tapping is what we want to do on our face. So I want you to take your hands and just start tapping around on your face like this. Now you may look funny if you look at yourself. No one's looking at you. And just tap around. Stimulate hyperemia. Great for collagen, elastin. Great for our skin. Great for circulation. And you're going to do this for about 20 seconds. That's all. Waking the skin up. Increasing blood supply. Increasing sensory stimuli to the brain, sending messages back to the area so things can function better. Now, this is where we're heading. We want to clean those toxins out that's sitting within our facial area from overnight sleeping. When we sleep, our body's releasing those toxins into our bloodstream. It's releasing it into our facial muscles. We want to get them out. Now, not only will this help you feel better, but your complexion, your skin, your energy, your immune system are going to see great changes. And under our skin, that's right under our skin above those muscles, we have this lymph fluid. We have these toxins. We have these old immune cells that need to get out of our system. We want to cleanse it. We want to get it back through that lymphatic system into our circulatory system, into our body so we can excrete it. And the best thing that we can do is first take your fingers and go over your clavicle, and you're going to rub back and forth like this for 10-15 seconds. This is where everything drains into. And we want to flush these toxins out of our face to our ears, the preauricular and the parotid lymph nodes. That's where they sit. We'll start up in here and lightly pushing on this forehead, coming down into the ears. Nice and gentle, do not push hard. Remember, all of this is sitting right under the skin. This is what you want to do. You want to get into the habit of bringing everything to the ears every morning after you cleanse and clear that clavicle area, which I'll show you in just a second, where we're going to finalize this, where we're going to go. Everything goes right back to the ears. Just like that, nice and easy. It only takes about 20-30 seconds. Just bring everything over. This is going to help your complexion, your skin, your healing. This is great for your immune system. Once it gets in these nodes, we're going to take our fingers right near the ears and bring it straight down to the clavicle. As you go right down to the clavicle, this is where it drains into. Draining into the left thoracic duct and the right lymphatic duct. And from here, it goes into the subclavian vein, back into the circulatory system, within our system, so those toxins can drain. Remember, if you want a beautiful complexion, you want to stay healthy, you want to build your immune system, you got to wake the muscles up. You got to keep them clean. You want to stimulate nerves to the brain. This is the greatest thing you can do, is stimulating these nerves, the circulation, so you can stay healthy. And when you get up in the morning, you can take on the day full of energy, focus, concentration, and you will definitely see a great change in your health.
It was easy and cheap and fun.
Exactly.
There's no potions or any
Uh-uh.
timers. You don't have to set things up. This is what we need in life. And his voice is just really cute. He has a really
Yeah.
charming voice.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a lisp, which I find endearing, and he also
Endearing,
has,
yeah.
yeah, he has just a Mr. Clean approach to everything too, doesn't he? Yeah, I've always found him interesting. He's got a ton of stuff on YouTube, a ton of different things. So his name is Motivational Doc.
Dr. Mandel.
Yeah, that's his real name, but on YouTube, I'm just talking
Yeah.
about the ability to find him. Motivational Doc is. So here's the thing about all of this. One of the frustrations that I have always felt is that I never mastered a morning and an evening routine. That's how it felt for me. That I could never get something going that felt like consistent in the morning. I heard about people that had like an hour-long routine in the morning and this massive checklist at night and all these things that they did, and they felt so accomplished. And I was like, I know I have a very resistant part to that anyway. I find it's rebellious, maybe even. I don't know. But the interesting thing for me is that I have found my own way. And a piece of it too is my day is never the same. Like today, for instance, someone was asking me, why is it at a different time? Why is Front Load Joy at a different time? I know, that was you, Maria. I didn't want to call you out without you. But the fact is, my Sundays are sacred for me. And so I try to find a time each week that will work, but I've added this into my schedule. And I wanted to make sure, and frankly, it was Tracy and I that decided it was going to be 8 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. We decided that on Friday, I think, right? Wasn't that Tracy? Yeah. But I normally have a lot of other things going on Sunday, but this weekend I don't have a mastermind call and other things. I decided to sleep in, and thank God I did, because I fell asleep. I didn't set my alarm. I woke up at 10 minutes to 7 in a panic because I thought, oh my gosh, I only have 10 minutes before the call. Thank goodness I realized pretty quickly. But the point I'm trying to make about all of this is that morning routines are some part of the rules of living right. And I want you to hear that as long as you have a tool chest. I was talking about this yesterday too, about me needing power tools because I'm vertically challenged and not very big. And so when I go to try to fix something on my own, I wanted to be able to use something that had power. And that's why I want this call to be a gift, to be able to help you find something that works, or to help you have something in your tool chest so that in that moment you can go, wait a minute, what was that about trying to wake up in the morning? And this is something that you can do very easily, even if you don't get all the steps right, even if you don't have it in your head automated. It's an important aspect because of the crazy world that we live in, to have these tools in your tool chest and to consider them important, to have a way for you to calm your nervous system. One of the things that I keep on my desk always is this image. Let me spotlight myself here. Hold on, let me find my mouse. Where is it? There we go. Oops, this is a better picture. So we have our autonomic nervous system here. And I don't know if you can imagine what each of these means, but I would much rather be here than here. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean we're going to stop going here. Here is basically shut down, scared, hiding, isolating, could be any number of things. But this is a place where our cortisol is running crazy. Our cortisol is running crazy here too, but this is more competitive. This is more fight. This is fight area. This is numbing, soothing, trying to comfort ourselves as best we can. This is joy. That's what this is. This is balance. So when we notice that we're out of balance, that's when we can use these tools. They're quick, they're simple, that's what they're designed for. I only wanted this to be a 30-minute call max because I wanted people to be able to recognize it doesn't take much. It's not hard. We just listened to, I don't know, a 10-minute video. And in that 10-minute video, he spent maybe 2 minutes total doing all of these exercises and the rest explaining the importance of them. That's the other thing that's really important for me, is to recognize the importance of these exercises. and what they can do physiologically. I like to understand because there's so much complexity going on in this. So many different reasons that I go to food, so many different reasons that I get stressed, so many different reasons that I have this underlying dis-ease. And I want to be able to notice it and then be able to do something about it. And I like these tools for that reason. I've got a couple of blog posts out there that talk specifically about front-loading joy, but I want you all to hear that there are any number of ways for you to calm yourself and center yourself and center your nervous system, the physical parts of it. There's this work that we're all doing, or we wouldn't be here right now. But the physiological work gets lost sometimes. And that's why I like to point this out. So when I use the phrase front load joy, for me, joy is not happy. Joy is balanced. Joy is relieving. Joy is relief for me. Joy is feeling the feeling I get when I walk into my woods. It's not necessarily happy. It's not necessarily sad. It's just aware and balanced and comfortable. My system is not cortisol laden. That's what I like to look at when I think about front-loading joy. So there are, as I mentioned, there are a number of tools. I was just laughing about one this morning, which is cold therapy, which nobody wants to do. And maybe Kelly will never get icy cold water coming out of her tap. I don't know. Kelly lives in Florida. But right now in the Pacific Northwest and probably in Truckee where Tracy lives, and maybe where Eva lives, and maybe where Marianne lives, I don't know where Barbara lives, and definitely where Marcia lives, there's going to be really cold water coming out. And the idea of that cold water is actually extremely reviving. And it takes practice and it takes courage to turn that cold water on. I've gotten to a place now where I can turn the cold water on. It hits the back of my head first, which seems to be easier. I don't know. And then I let it run down my back. And then I move my head forward so it hits my back. And then I start allowing it to run down my arms. And then I'm telling you, this is a process. It's a process to learn and it's a process to appreciate. And then I turn around. And I know you guys know what it's like to get into a really cold anything. And when we start hitting our special parts with cold water, it's just, but it is so exhilarating. Even on days when I don't feel well, I find it exhilarating. My point in all of this is there are any number of things that you can do each day, but marinating in the idea that I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to calm my nervous system so that I can face the tiger that's out there, so that I can appreciate this particular time more so than the confrontation I'm bound to have today, more so than the icky news that's going to hit me like a sledgehammer or an arrow. So these are the kinds of things that are involved with front load joy. So thank you. Anybody have any comments or anything that they'd like to share at this point before we head on out for the day? Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
I just thought it was really cute when he talks about babies and stuff, because they just seem to know instinctively what to do and how we unlearn things. Because I remember as a mom, I never understood when people would say, like, when they start pulling their ears, they want to rest. And I just never associated that with wanting to rest. And then he said that, and I thought that was very, eyes just seems not normal. Yeah, you rub your eyes, but people tug their ears to calm themselves down. And I just thought, oh, wow, until he said that, I'm like, that's very true. Very cute.
It's exactly right. We have this ability as sentient beings to basically ruin the things that we started with, and we need to pull them back in. The TRE is a type of yoga where we allow ourselves to shake. That can be extreme. That's one of the front loading joy episodes that we did. There is so much around what we did as infants and children that's for some reason we thought societally it wasn't appropriate, or we thought societally it's not necessary, and we pulled ourselves away from those things. So yeah, it was lovely seeing the baby going like this. I just remember that so clearly. I agree, Maria. Thank you. Yeah. I hope this has helped you launch your Sunday in a way that can feel, I don't know, more gentle. This is what we can use. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Sonia.